Welcome, everybody. This is Cheesy Media, and I'm Charles. So, hope you're good. So, it's a beautiful thing. It's looking really beautiful by the day, and I'm really excited about the launch of Enugu Air. I mean, this is history in the making. For the first time in Enugu's history, Enugu has never had Enugu Air. I mean, we've seen in bus transport terminal being built. We've seen mass transit being launched by state government. But when a state government decides to launch an airline, I mean, you just have to give it to it. It's just unprecedented, and it will be in the annals of history that at some point in the year 2025, under the administration of Pitamba, that an airline was established and it ran, it worked. What most governors are running away from because of the fact that the monies that are involved are just humongous. The man stepped on it, and within a few months, get this, I've been speaking to some aviation experts about this airline, about the veracity of this airline, because it looks like this thing is becoming too fast. And they keep telling me that, look, for this airline to really fly, it cannot be anything less than 1 year, 6 months. At the very minimum, say you bring money, you bring everything on ground, at least 1 year, 6 months. It is not possible that this thing starts flying, but talking about 7 months, this thing is already been launched. And the worst part, the airline has now a website where you can book your flights. Jesus Christ. Oh, yes. Saturday morning, I was just on online, checking for stuff. And all of a sudden, I saw a pop-up message. Oh, you can now book Enugu Air, and the website is up live. And I went checking on it. I want you to follow me on to check on these websites. So it's all green, of course. The color that they painted the airplane with is green, Enugu Air. You see a number there, 0201 330-1919, and the email info@enuguairlines.com. The abouts, our services, the tourism, career, and contact us. Welcome to Enugu Air, where culture meets excellence. Book now. But something I also noticed is as soon as you click on book now and click on continue, it takes you to ZJet's website. And ZJet's website is a place where you can finally do your booking. And if you look at it very critically, you see this Abuja, Enugu, and Lagos. All right, for now, it's Abuja, Enugu, and Lagos, and here is Enugu, Lagos. So I understand that the Enugu State Commissioner for Transport, Obiozo, actually said something along the lines of the fact that they are collaborating with ZJet, and ZJet is the one managing the Enugu Air for now, because of course, I think the government is looking at efficiency. All right. This is a very serious business, and they're looking to open the Southeast and Enugu states to tourism and business from around the world. And they feel that collaborating with the private sector who's already into that space would give them the opportunity to scale a lot of things. And of course, as time goes on, I don't have the numbers in terms of how many years it's involved with the collaboration, because of course, they are the ones managing it. Some percentage will have to go to them, some concessions would have to go to them. There'll be some employment as well. So that detail I don't have, but I'm sure that because of the governor's background, who's a businessman, he understands that you just have to have a private sector managers, at least for time being, before you now hand over officially to the government. But by and large, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. He wants to do things efficiently. We don't want to hear that flights are delayed, or we don't want to hear that the airplane did not fly today. We also love maintenance, as the case may be. So ZJet is at the center of all of these things. And it's important that we get that fact out there. So continuing on the websites, so who we are about Enugu Air, born from the visionary leadership of the Enugu State government, Enugu Air is on a bold mission to connect the Southeast to the world. elevate regional pride, and redefine the flying experience in Nigeria and Africa. Our goal is simple yet ambitious: to become the leading regional airline in Africa and strategic aviation hub in Nigeria, renowned for service excellence, sustainability, and cultural celebration. Headquartered in the heart of Enugu, our airline is a symbol of progress designed to reflect the dignity, resilience, and entrepreneurial spirit of the Southeast. From seamless service to world-class comfort, Enugu Air promises a travel experience that's not only reliable and luxurious, but deeply rooted in the values and beauty of our people. Booking 0201-330-1919. So you can more. So this one is the latest flight deals from Enugu Air. We're taking a tour of the coast city with our tourism packages. So there will be, this is also telling us that there will be a tourism package. This is exactly what I was saying in my last video. That, you know, because people know that there are tourism sites in Enugu, right? But they don't want to have their security left aloof, or maybe their movement around left aloof. So say for instance, I live in Dubai and I want to go to Enugu State and I have my monies to pay. I have $100, $100,000 or $50,000 to pay for me and my friend, or me and my loved ones. But when I land in Enugu, I don't know who to meet, where to go. There isn't any of that exists, you know, in Enugu as it stands right now. But with this Enugu Air, that will be set up. Like we have a commissioner for tourism who already have a place where people can go to when they come. Say I'm in Dubai, okay, I want to go to Enugu. There's Enugu Air who can fly. I understand also there's also a leg of the Enugu Air that will start doing international flight, but for the meantime, they're not doing that. But when you land in Lagos or Abuja, which are the hubs, the major hubs of Nigeria, and then Enugu Air flies from Abuja to Enugu, to also fly from Kano to Enugu, then Lagos to Enugu. So when you land in Lagos or Abuja, the Enugu Air can just pick you up and come into Enugu, and then you do your tourism sightseeing, and then you can go back to Abuja. Then from Abuja, you are back to your country. That is exactly what this is about. This is part of what should sell Enugu and put Enugu in a much more economically thriving economy of Nigeria. So take a tour of the coast city with our tourism package. Economy from 150,000 naira. 150,000 naira is the flight fare Lagos to Abuja. Economy from 150,000 naira. This is Enugu State. I don't know if you remember this particular place in Enugu. It's close to the broadcasting house, Radio Nigeria. This is, of course, Abuja, and this is Lagos. And then down here, they say it's a special offer. Become a member today. Get up to 50% discount ticket by joining our membership plan. Click to register. So if you're a member, you can as well get 50% off discount for flights. I heard the commissioner for transportation, Obi, also saying that it will be a little bit cheaper for this first few weeks or few months of flying, at least 80,000 naira. So 80,000 naira is like half of 150,000 naira. So if you are a member, it's very easy for you to get that discount. So this is a flight ticket packages economy with the best crew in the sky. With our economy, you can afford to be choosy. Economy Plus. The difference between a good flight and a phenomenal one is in the detail. And then business class, we have taken the time to consider every last detail of your journey so you don't have to bother yourself. Our routes, here is the routes now. We'll fly you from various routes on a direct flight to the tropical wonder of Enugu on an unforgettable trip. Enugu Air is introducing a new definition of travel. So the locations: Enugu to Abuja, Abuja to Enugu, Abuja to Lagos, Lagos to Abuja, Enugu to Lagos, Lagos to Enugu, Lagos to Owerri, Owerri to Lagos, Lagos to Port Harcourt, Port Harcourt to Lagos, Port Harcourt to Abuja, Abuja to Port Harcourt, Abuja to Benin, Benin to Abuja, and Benin to Lagos, Abuja to Benin, then Lagos to Benin. So that's the route. Okay, I was hoping to see Benin to Enugu. It's not there. Okay, so those are the routes at least for now. So the launching, we are sure, is going to be on Monday, July 7th. So what will you get? Tourism packages, take a tour of the coast city. So if you want to take a tour of the coast city, this is a package for you. So it's if you want a full day tour, yes, you get a full day tour. If you want a half day tour, this is also a half day tour. If you want a 3 day tour, there's also a 3 day tour for you. And as you click, it brings you here. All right, it brings you here. I'm sure that all of those places are still being worked out. All right, it takes you to the ZJets, the company that is officially managing the Enugu right now. So these are the things right now that is available on Enugu Air. So I came in here and I was actually looking for check-in and boarding, and I clicked and it took me to it's still on Enugu Air, and it wrote a few things for check-in and boarding. Of course, it will ask you for your reference number. Yeah, if you ask if your booking reference number, I enter your name and search, I'm sure that your name would appear. So check-in, you can check in online from 24 hours and up to 2 hours before your scheduled departure. Physical check-in opens 2 hours before departure and closes exactly 45 minutes prior. If you have checked baggage, please proceed to the check-in desks to drop off your bags. Boarding passes can be printed exclusively during the check-in period for your flight. Once you have your boarding pass, you can head straight to the boarding gate. Then the boarding gate open 30 minutes before and closes 15 minutes before the scheduled departure time. Please ensure you arrive at the gate on time. Have your boarding pass in hand at the security gate. Passengers traveling with laptops will need to remove bags. Our team will need to check that the correct person is boarding the plane. So have your proof identification and boarding pass ready. So this is what it is. So that's actually how I went through the Enugu Air websites. Enugu Air, a privately owned airline, was founded to redefine air travel with a unique and innovative approach. Now, like I mentioned earlier, that the governor is looking to run a company efficiently. You know, it's wholly owned by the Enugu state government. Okay, and one thing you should know is that sometimes when you leave it in the hands of government people, they really don't run it the best way possible. And this is airline. We've had several complaints about delayed flights in this country, and the governor doesn't want to hear delayed flights be, because of the kind of rubbish that comes from the mouth of people. When flight is delayed, you would understand that the back and forth will not be directly to the flights per se, to be to the Enugu government. So the Enugu government got ZJet to manage the flight operations. Some people will ask, but is it a good thing? Why don't we have the detail of the relationship? Well, for me, I think it is a good thing. It is a good thing because we want efficiency, right? We know private sector, you know, are efficient. A lot more private sectors. I mean, most of us who would rather take our kids to private schools or private universities or even do private stuff because we know that they're much more efficient than their public counterparts, and it has been proven over time. So the government doesn't want to break their head around those areas, and they just want something seamless, at least for the period. I don't know how many years that the relationship would last for, whether it's 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. But however it is, the most important thing is Enugu Air is in the air, and it's a historic flight, and it's a huge congratulations to Enugu State government and the people of Enugu for this particular feat. I caught up with an interview with the Commissioner for Transportation, who spoke largely about Enugu Air. Right, he spoke a lot about Enugu Air. He spoke about the modalities. The flight is going to start. Of course, we know it's on July 7th, but how the flights are going to land, they say it's going to come from Lagos and Abuja into Enugu, and then the launch happens, and then the flight goes back from back to Lagos and Abuja. That is how the launch is going to happen. So, but he spoke and answered several questions regarding the flight operations and even the collaboration that they have with ZJet, and a plan for expanded routes to be international and the like. So I would leave you to listen and watch and have a good time. All right. Thank you so much. Endeavor to like, subscribe, and share to everyone that you know that this is a historic moment, and we're proud to be part of this history.
Yes, Enugu Air is ready for takeoff, and I believe this is the fastest anybody in this country has been able to set up an airline. We started this journey just about December of 2024, and just about 7 months in, we are ready to take off. Generally, this takes almost 2 to 3 years. That's the norm. But thanks to the leadership of His Excellency Barrister Pitamba, who is coming from private sector and knows how to push and set up businesses. And then we've enjoyed the support from the presidency to the Ministry of Aviation, the FAN, the NCA. Everybody has been in support because we need to have that type of airline that have the ability to scale and solve the problem. So we're ready to take off on commercial operation on Monday, the 7th by noon. The ceremony is at International Apron of our Caribbean International Airport.
Okay, people are asking one critical question. How can people buy tickets? The websites, how can they book the flights?
Yes, so people will start buying commercial ticket from tomorrow. So today the website will go live. Recall that aviation is highly regulated. So we've submitted website and booking portal for approval, and we're hoping that it goes live sometime today or midnight. And tomorrow, people can buy flight ticket for the Lagos to Enugu on Monday morning, a flight from Lagos to Enugu on Monday morning, and then an afternoon flight from Enugu to Lagos and Enugu to Abuja.
That's quite interesting.
Okay, let's talk about the routes. It's just Enugu and Lagos at this point, and what are plans to expand regional or maybe internationally?
Yeah, the routes are, first of all, what we call the Golden Triangle generally, which is from point A to Lagos and Abuja, right? And then there is also the other additional routes. So we're starting off with the Enugu to Lagos, Enugu to Abuja, Lagos to Port Harcourt, Abuja to Port Harcourt, Lagos to Owerri, Lagos to Abuja to Owerri, and Lagos to Kano for the start. And gradually, as our fleet grows by Q4 of this year, we'll further actually put more machines on those lanes and also expand to other routes within the nation. And also we'll be starting the inaugural for the international flight.
People are concerned about safety. I mean, it's the first airline Enugu is launching. People are wondering, would it be safe? Some of them are concerned about being on the first flight, and we have to face reality. That is the word on the street. How can you convince them that they should in fact try this inaugural flight?
In fact, I don't even think we'll have enough space for the people that already has been pre-booking offline for the inaugural flight. I don't even think I can be accommodated there. I wish I can be in Lagos.
So you're not sure of your seats then?
In Enugu, of course, there is a lot of people, and even the leadership of the different regulators that are coming from Lagos to Enugu for the launch. They are already going to be there. Even the financial institution, we won't even have space. And recall that aviation, because of its peculiar nature, is highly regulated. I don't know if you've seen that most of our machines were doing demo flights since last week Friday. Most of that demo flights will be completed. Each of these machines had to do multiple hours with the inspectors, NCA inspectors in them, and you're just operating, but you land at the airport and take off empty, just burning fuel. And in those things, they are checking, and it's part of regulation before you can carry passengers. So today, we'll be completing our demo flights. Yeah.
How was Enugu able to do that so fast? People take years to accomplish this. Some never do. How was Enugu able to do that so quickly?
As I mentioned, is leadership and having people who have experience in businesses, in launching businesses, right? So this airline is not really a political stuff. It's a company. It's a company. In fact, for me, on Monday, basically marks the starting of my headache, and not even the end of it. Because you now have to make sure that the airline is safe and reliable. And of course, in the beginning, these things are, especially reliability, is a problem, because even at the airports, at the airport terminals in Nigeria, things are not fast, generally, right? How do you ensure that your airline is a different maker, right? And that's why you call it fly differently, right? So that's part of the headache, is a company. It's not really a political
Can you shed more light on the company, right? Because we're trying to understand how this airline is going to be managed. Is government, the private sector, or public-private partnership? So can you just elaborate on that? And also the fares. Fares, let's talk about the pricing. Is it going to be competitive, or is it going to be regulated? I don't know. Just these two questions.
No, it's a business. It's a business. It's not going to be, there's no interference, as the governor has promised. That there is no government interference. So we partner with ExeJet.
Okay.
So ExeJet is our partner, and we'll be running the airline. But of course, the airline is owned fully by Enugu State government, and our job is to promote, support, and make sure they are following the overarching vision of the governor, the administration. And the pricing will be competitive, of course. In business, when you're starting up, you normally are not the most prized. You have to break into the market, and then after you break in, if you have done well, you should be able to have the leverage to set your own price. And that is not different from what we'll be saying. However, recall, as the governor has mentioned, that the reason for launching airline is not just to generate profit, but is more to be able to open up this region, to turn Enugu into the hub, transportation and aviation hub across Africa. It's not really just Nigeria, it's across Africa.
Does Enugu Air have a stand yet at the airports? People are wondering if there's already a stand, like you have the Air Peace and you have Ibom Air. Does Enugu Air have its own stand?
Yes, I believe that for the past 1 week, if you have even gone to even Akanibem, you will see where they formerly had the Dana. You see the Enugu Air counters, and you also have it in Owerri, and in Abuja, Lagos, and other places.
So Enugu Air has unseated Dana stand?
No. We don't have that type of power. It's wherever a fan shows you after you've complied with all their requirements.
So then where is Dana stand now?
I think that Dana stopped flying to Enugu for some time now.
All right.
And I think their lease has also expired. Maybe that's why we were able to get that.
Okay, so it wasn't unseated then. All right.
So still looking at the fares, the pricing, right? So can you maybe outline probably what we could be expecting, maybe going from Enugu to Lagos, Enugu to Abuja back to Lagos, that route, right? Can you like outline, maybe are we looking at something like 80,000 bucks or thereabouts?
80,000 bucks. I think that the young Shagru charges similar to go by road.
I'm just saying about it. Yeah.
Yes, but as mentioned, the pricing will be competitive, but also because it's more of access, making Enugu accessible to people. The pricing won't be the focus, but I noticed that the average ticket price, both for on-time and late purchases, right, for Enugu routes, is almost 155,000 naira. So, of course, the benefit of having a state-promoted airline is that the state can look beyond just the core bottom line. You can look at how this helps unlock hospitality. So, with that case, Enugu will probably most times be priced lower.
All right. So we take it.
The Enugu State government has announced that its state-owned airline, Enugu Air, will begin commercial operations on Monday, July 7th, 2025. The announcement was contained in a post by the Senior Special Assistant on Media to Enugu State Governor Pitamba Dan Wome via his X handle on Wednesday. It says, quote, Enugu Air is set to commence operations with inaugural commercial flights on Monday, Wome wrote. While the post noticed the imminent start of the commercial operations, it did not provide further information on the routes to be served, flight schedules, or booking details. A check by this channel Wednesday revealed that with just days to the announced date of the launch, there's still no official booking platform or website available for Enugu Air, raising questions about the readiness of the airline for commercial passenger service. The announcement follows an earlier declaration by the state government in May that Enugu Air would commence commercial operations that same month, a timeline that ultimately did not materialize. At the time, the state government disclosed that 3 aircraft had been secured for the airline. 2 had already been delivered to the state, while a third was expected to arrive before the end of the month of May. Now, check this out. In recent years, several Nigerian subnational governments have been exploring establishment of state-owned airlines as part of broader economic and transport development strategies. Akwa Ibom State led with its efforts with the launch of Ibom Air, which began operations in July 2019, has now been operating for over 5 years. The airline currently serves Lagos, Abuja, and several other Nigerian cities. In 2021, neighboring Cross River State launched its own state-owned airline, Kali Air, with 1 aircraft. The airline was established as a joint venture between the Cross River State government and Dana Group under a public-private partnership. In 2023, the Boeing 737-5 BOR was added to the fleet, bringing the total to 2, with the state government expressing plans to acquire 3 additional aircraft in the future. Now, Enugu State has joined the fray with Enugu Air, whose operations are scheduled to begin on Monday, July 7th. As of May, the state has confirmed the availability of 3 aircraft, according to the Commissioner for Transportation, Dr. Obi Ozo. Earlier in 2024, the Ebonyi State government, through its Commissioner for Aviation, Dr. Ngozi Obichukwu, unveiled plans to launch a state-owned airline inspired by Akwa Ibom's Ibom Air. The state announced intentions to procure 4 aircraft to kickstart the airline, with private investors expected to contribute 3 more. However, no further update has been provided on the status of the initiative. So let me just break this down, because again, there's a whole lot that is going on right now. We all know that Enugu State is on the verge of a total transformation. It's no longer going to be that state that is all about civil service state. You know, it's almost always pedestrian to put it. Enugu State is a civil service state. You know, you just dance around it. So the benefits of this is quite enormous. First of all, the very first thing you think of, the fact that Enugu has its own airline, is the fact that it is not ghosts that will work there. It's going to be human beings, your brothers, my sisters, your sisters, your friends, our friends, family members, who are going to be the ones to work in that particular airline. So it ultimately gives us a job opportunity, all right? For those who are looking to work in that space, this is an opportunity for them to gain the chance to work in an indigenous airline. And beyond that, this government has also been talking about tourism, you know, harnessing all the opportunities that is in tourism. Having a state-owned airline will give you the opportunity to do that. Why do I say that? Say, for instance, we have a group of persons who are looking to come to Enugu State for tourism, and they don't know how to go about it. They want something moderate, maybe not cheap, but of course, you know, flying from one place to another is not cheap, but moderate, but it's okay. Say they are flying from Saudi Arabia, for instance. If you're flying from Saudi Arabia, you know how difficult it is. You won't have, there's only Ethiopian Airlines that fly directly into Enugu State. So if with an Enugu Air, if it starts operating an international airline, that flight will be chartered from Enugu to Saudi Arabia, pick them and bring them, and then take them from here back to their homes. That is how fantastic it is. There are so many persons who have tried to come into Enugu State. It's not because they don't have the means to come around Enugu State, but because they are not sure. You know, they are not sure of their safety. But if you have an Enugu airline that is also tied to our tourism, we'll have a package for people who are coming for tourism directly, and it's going to be under government security. your hotel accommodation, your safety around, your movement around, it's all government. All you need to do is just to pay the fee. If the fee is $30,000 or $50,000 or $3,000, however amount it is, if that's the fee for each person, you just pay the fee. Then you don't have to bother about your bags, your safety, your hotel accommodation, your meetings, everything you need to do. So somehow you are saved. You are saved from those issues because you have a state-owned airline that directly picks you and drops you. Or better still, when you land in Lagos or land in Abuja, the airline can go and pick you from Abuja, can pick you people from Lagos to come to Enugu and do your thing, and then they bring you back, guys back, and you just pay the fee, and that's it. You can imagine the amount of people who will be flocking, who will be interested in coming into Enugu, but because of the fact that they're not sure of their safety, their safety is not guaranteed, and maybe the places that are to be assessed needs a measure of you need the government to approve. So in this case, you wouldn't really need the government to approve anything because it's the government that is even organizing it. So there are several wonderful opportunities that comes with that. Other things is, that this airline would give us is the fact that it will diversify our economy. We've been looking for ways to diversify our economy, and every now and then we hear it's a state for civil servants. Civil service state is only when the month end. That's when you see money flows. That's when you see the bars are filled up. That's when you see people go to the market. But right now, money flows every week, every moment. It's not like it is just month end, but things happen. It's no longer. I was talking to somebody about the conferences that have come into town. We have so many persons now, especially about young girls who can beat their chest and say they are making at least a minimum of 80 to 100,000 naira within a month for just coming and sitting, not just coming and standing and doing ushering work. I'm talking 100,000 naira is really, nothing when it comes to today's Nigeria. But I mean, it's something you can have to hold on to. I mean, if you go out for ushering work every weekend, 4 times in a week, and each of the payment is 50,000 naira, you're talking about 200,000 naira. But the average, because of the different persons who are involved and different logistics that are involved, some will want to price it for lower than that. But even when they do, you can imagine the amount of money that's going to these young girls who are also students, who are also looking to fend for themselves. You understand that kind of thing. So it gives people the opportunity to make extra money, extra cash, off the economy that comes with conferences. So for these airlines, it would also be for those who are always saying that air ticket is always very, very high. It's an opportunity for you to get something a little bit cheaper than normal. I'm sure that the airline will start doing some sort of discount, and over time they'll come at par. But it will not be as high as every other ones that has been operating for all these years. So it is an opportunity again for people to be able to take on the advantage of getting to use the Enugu Air and pay for something lower than what is obtainable across other airlines. I mean, it's competition, right? And everybody is looking for customers. So however it is, it will also give us the opportunity to gain more, as the case may be. Air travel is generally faster than other modes of transportation, making it more efficient way to reach destinations, especially for longer distances. A state-owned airline, of course, can offer more frequent and reliable flights to various destinations, potentially including international routes, which can be crucial for both business and leisure travel. So it is a wonderful opportunity. Another one is the fact that it would facilitate exports. So many times we've seen people say, I have this thing, I don't know how to export it. Do you know that there are people who live on export, the things that they produce in their farms, the potatoes, the ubes, even the corns, they don't know how to take it out of the country. But with this Enugu Air, it is very, very easy for the Enugu government to liaise with farmers in Enugu to get what they have, and then they send this what they have in terms of produce to abroad easily. They don't have to make any move. They make, you know, dollars from what they send across the US or UK, as the case may be. I'm sure that we're starting with the local routes, but later on it's going to dovetail into international routes, which would help, you know, people to export their goods that they have produced in Enugu and maybe send it abroad as well. So there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot that can be gained from this Enugu Air. A state-owned airline like Enugu Air has the potential to be a catalyst for economic development, improve connectivity, and increase tourism in Enugu State. Enugu State has several tourist sites. I mean, if you were to be conservative with the number of tourist sites, 12. I'm just conservative with the number. There are extra. There are even up to 50. But just say the ones that you can say, okay, we can just touch upon now, and then get it going. Like 12 can be done at least within the first 3 months, you know, of getting it done. I also understand that they've even released funds for some of these places to be revived. The Obunike Cave, and I also understand that zipline, the longest zipline in Africa, is also being established. So there's a whole lot that this airline will give. And then if you hear that there's something like this in Enugu, you want to go with Enugu Air now to feel the Enugu ambience, to feel the Enugu resourcefulness. And then when they bring you here, you are just, you know, you are just excited about going about your tourist site. And the fact that this government is very strategic. I just want to let you guys know something, that there hasn't been any strategic government I have seen like this one. And I'm not saying just for Enugu State. I'm talking about across southern Nigeria. I really don't know what's going on in the northern Nigeria. But when it comes to southern Nigeria, that I have a grasp on about, at least I can tell you 2 or 3 states or 4 or 5 states that are doing a few things. But I haven't seen any government that is as strategic as this guy. I don't know if there is. Just let me, because this guy came and said he wanted to raise a $4 billion economy to a $30 billion economy. Frankly speaking, at least I was following up with his campaign. I was asking, is it this civil service state that you want to change to $30 billion economy? It is not possible. Well, I said, well, this is politics. Anything can go in politics. You can say anything tomorrow. You say, well, you tried to do it and you didn't do it. So those are the ways I left it there. But trust me, with what I have been seeing in the last 2 years, guy, there hasn't been any stop in the promises. There has been a continuous upgrading of our moribund economy, upgrading of our moribund facilities, and there has been also a surge of people into Enugu. I don't know if you've noticed, there has been unwarranted and unmitigated amount of people in Enugu. I don't know, there are a lot of people who have entered Enugu. Quite frankly, if you live in Enugu for quite a while, you would understand what I'm saying. It is feeling choky. It's not like what it used to be empty before. It's feeling choky. It means that there are a lot of people who are getting into Enugu, and even if there are actually people who are wanting to get information about Enugu, especially as it relates to properties. I have had several people call me and ask how far this is your Enugu will be here. How far we land there, and trust me, it's the reason why some of these estates have been spiraling every now and then. You will hear the numbers, and you will hear that one estate has just opened a spot, you know, down the road, and within the next 12 months, you see that the place is sold out. As in, it is that bad. Well, I say bad, that good. So, by and large, I would advise that if you are still interested in Enugu, come into Enugu, invest in Enugu, do it now. Else, probably you'll be buying from people who have bought, because some people they are just buying and keeping and then hoping to sell later so that they'll make enough money. So this thing can actually attract investment to Enugu. Like the conferences, remember the huge and gigantic conferences that's already making money for the state, and already making our young ones, you know, become, I'm at least comfortable with what it is that are bringing to them. We've also seen this airline that is starting off that is also creating jobs for our people that also attract investment from foreigners and even from Nigerians alike, from all other parts of the country. And of course, the opening of the economy of this state. So there's absolutely nothing that this state is losing by, not doing this. And it's just a fabulous opportunity for everyone who wants to really do the needful to support whatever this government is doing so that, we can have, a better state. After all, if he succeeds, everyone succeeds. Those are my thoughts. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.